Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shashank Ranjan, and I welcome you all to the daily The Hindu newspaper discussion. This is Chennai edition, February 7th newspaper, and the discussion is brought to you by National Defense Institute. NDI is a leading defense institute of India that prepares you for all India Sainik School entrance examination, NDA, CTS, CAPF, Afcat till the SSB, where we believe in holding your hand till you get those stars on your shoulders and emblem on your hat. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin the discussion. The first news article that's important for from our exams perspective is on page number 1, which is center to tweak no building zone around the monument. So, site specific limits likely to introduce in the introduce post amendments. Now, basically, ladies and gentlemen, there is a act. There is an act that is the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Amritsar Act 1958. Okay, and this was amended in 2010 to declare 100-meter radius of protected monument as prohibited area and the next 300-meter as the regulated area. Okay, but according to the ministry officials, as per the recent parliamentary standing committee report, there was no specific reason for why these limits of 100 meters and 300 meters have been chosen. And this is basically the parliamentary committee said that this basically is kind of stopping the growth of the tourism in that particular area. So instead of no construction zone for the next 100 meters, what we can do is have a positive construction zone where the tourist facilities could be developed so that more tourists could be brought into the area, could be attracted into the area. For example, providing the best toilet facilities, or different kind of infrastructures, water purification, uh, and the garbage management in that area. So things like infrastructure development could take place in around 100 and 300 meters so that the area would attract more tourists. So this is what is the basically idea of the government, and government will come will is looking forward to amend this act of 1958, which was amended earlier in 2010, looking forward to amend it now 12 years ago, 12 years later once again. All right, so let's see. Now, this is going to be a news in transition, so we'll see what happens. So that was the important news on the first article. I mean, the first page. Let's move to the next page number. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the second news article that's important is coming from page number 2, the regional news. The news is about the second hatchery of the olive Ridley to be set up of ECR in Villupuram. Now, the existing hatchery at Vasuvankuppam has almost reached its full capacity. All right, so second hatchery for olive Ridley is going to be set up of ECR in Villupuram. Now, from your exams perspective, what is important is to know about these olive Ridley turtles. All right. So, what I want you to research about is what is the IUCN status of olive Ridley? This is your homework. What is the IUCN status? Note it down in a notebook where you are making notes, because this is very important. Olive Ridley has come in the past, is very important turtle species in India. A lot of conservation effort is going on. Okay, are you seeing status? In which schedule? In which schedule of the Wildlife Protection Act? Okay, WLP 1972. Okay, under which schedule of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 is this olive Ridley put? Okay. The third question is, what is the mass nesting? Mass nesting done by Olive Ridley called? Answer, collect the answer for these three. Okay, one more question. Where is Olive Ridley mostly found? Which water body? Olive Ridley is famous for which water body is mostly is famous for Olive Ridley? And let me give you a clue for this. It is a lagoon. It's a lagoon, and this is present in Orissa. Okay, so this is a clue. Now you research on this and note it down in notebook. Okay, so this is your homework. Let me see how many of you do it. Seriously? Fine. So this is the next important news on the second page. Let's move to the next page now. Next news article that is important from exams perspective is on page number 8. That is Sitharaman to discuss the aviation fuels inclusion in GST regime. So we know that there are few items which are still out of the GST and therefore the taxation on it is very high. And among that is the aviation fuel. So basically, what are the things that are excluded out of GST even till now? So one is the alcohol for human consumption. Okay, uh, alcohol for human consumption. Next is the fuel like petroleum, diesel, ATF. Okay, all the fuels. Next that we have is the tobacco product. So like the uh, cigarette and other tobacco product. And next is the entertainment. So entertainment is basically subject to the state in which they are being used. For example, the movie tickets and all. So it depends upon like how much taxation do they want to do it, but this has been kept out of the GST regime. All right. So alcohol, fuel, tobacco, and entertainment, these are the four things that are still out of GST. Among the fuel we have petroleum, petrol, diesel, ATF. Okay, now Sitharaman is going to have a discussion with the industrialist. It is generally after presenting the budget, the finance minister of India discuss different things with the industrialists, so that she has a fair idea on whether the decision taken is right or not, and could give her points in front of the uh, standing committees that are set up now to analyze the whole budget. So in that meeting with the aviation industry, she will be discussing about the uh, increasing prices of the aero transition fuels, so that the aviation fuel prices could be reduced, thereby giving profit to the aviation industry and making the flight cheaper and affordable to the people. Okay, so that's the thing here. Now next important thing from your exams perspective here is to understand the uh, GST. Now, the GST has three parts: CGST, SGST, that is state GST, and you have IGST, that is the integrated GST. Okay, so there are three parts for the GST, and there's a GST council. Okay. Now, the GST Council, important thing about the GST Council is that the quorum in the council must be 50%. So no meeting of the council will be held unless there is a 50% quorum there. I mean 50% of the members present. Okay. Next is the for voting purpose, 2/3 of the weightage is given to the state. 2/3 weightage of all votes weightage of all votes is given to states, and 1/3 of the for the vote is given weightage is given to center. Okay. Next is the final decision on anything is not taken by 50% simple majority. It is taken by special majority of 75%. Okay, so until unless there's 75% majority, no decision is taken at the GST Council. So voting, it requires 75% of majority, a special majority. Okay, so fine. So these are some important things that is to be noted. Now this news is in transition once again. So after discussion, what is the decision taken, whether the fuel prices will go low or what happens is something that we'll see coming in future. Let's now move to the next news article. Ladies and gentlemen, the next news article is below this. That is penal. That is a panel redraws all five J&K Lok Sabha seats. Now we know that there is a Ranjana Desai committee that was set up. So the panel that was under the leadership of Ranjana Desai, which is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this. This is very important question that will come in this examination. And so the panel has finally redrawn all five the Lok Sabha seats at Jammu and Kashmir. But this is obviously something given by a committee. The final decision is always pending with the government. So basically, there are seats that are added. Five Lok Sabha seats. The interim report shared with the associate 2 days ago suggested that Kashmir division will get an additional seat in Kupwara, while the Jammu division will get an additional seat in Kathua, Samba, one in Doda, one in Rajouri, one in Udhampur, one in Kishtwar. Of the 6 seats, 3 assembly seats are from Muslim majority Chenab Valley, while and Pir Panjal valleys, while the three are in Hindu Jammu Samba Katwa belt. Okay. So all these Jammu, Samba, Katwa, Rajouri are all near the POK. All right. Whereas the Kupwara is near the Kashmir Valley. So it's part of Kashmir Valley, just beside the Budgam district where Srinagar is present. Okay, so that's the thing. Anyhow, it is not important to know that where how many seats have increased or what is it that's going on, but just important for you to know is that there is a panel which is there and which is currently under the process of doing delimitations. Final decision is still pending with the center and the news is in transition. So let's see what comes in here. But important from your exam perspective is to remember Ranjana Desai. Okay, let's now move to the next news article. Ladies and gentlemen, next news article here is the fishes issues to come up during the Peiris visit. Now, we know that the Sri Lankan Foreign Minister GL Peiris will meet the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Monday in his first visit to India since being appointed last August. Both sides are expected to discuss India's economic support to Sri Lanka, plans for new infrastructure project, and pending issues over the fishermen's rights. And this is going to be very important because we saw that recently as well in news that there was a skirmish between the Indian fishermen and the Sri Lankan fishermen, owing to the fact that that Indian fishermen use trawlers, and these trawlers are highly advanced technology where the fishing becomes easy. But since Sri Lanka is not economically as powerful as India, and therefore their fishermen are not well equipped, and therefore Indian fishermen gain a lot, and they are able to fish a lot of fish out of the ocean. And so this is a standing issue between India and Sri Lanka. So there's going to be a discussion on this issue. The next thing is that there is going to be a BIMSTEC summit that's going to happen in Sri Lanka. So there could be a discussion on Sri Lanka's plan to hold the BIMSTEC meeting. Now, BIMSTEC was a kind of an initiative which India took to exclude Pakistan out of the SARC when the SARC started to become inactive because of the Pakistan not complying to the meetings and uh, moving against each and every plan that India and other country wanted to move together. Then to completely rule out the SARC, the BIMSTEC was created, and initially the BIMSTEC had the member like Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Okay, so that was BIMSTEC, but later the other countries like Bhutan, Nepal as well joined, and now it includes the members like India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, means Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Okay, so basically two more countries like Nepal and Bhutan were added, and therefore the full form of BIMSTEC was changed to Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So currently the full form of BIMSTEC is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Fine. So that's important here in the news. Now, once the meeting is over, Then we'll see the meeting, what were the discussions that were done. That's important from our exams perspective, if there would be any. So during that time, we'll see. So this is again a news in transition. So meeting is going to be held. Let's see what comes up in the meeting. While important things from your news perspective, from your exams perspective, is this BIMSTAC, to understand what BIMSTAC is, and the next is the fisherman's issue that's going on between India and Sri Lanka. Fine. Now let's move to the next news article. Fine. The next news article that's important is Supreme Court to weigh between national security and judicial scrutiny. So basically, there's a case that came forward in the Supreme Court, and this case was in Kerala. The Kerala government, it basically banned a news channel, and the giving to the reason for that as national security. It said that the channel was banned. Now the channel went to Supreme Court, and it said that in the name of national security we are being banned. So the uh, basically the Supreme Court has said that there must be a kind of a weight between national security and judicial scrutiny. You should not simply ban something in the name of national security, as there is a chilling effect that's which the people face. So basically the chilling effect, it means that a kind of effect that the people have on their rights when somebody tries to retain their rights, or obstruct their fundamental rights in the name of national security. All right, so basically Supreme Court has shown this consent. It also said that it should not happen as it has earlier happened, like the internet restriction in Jammu and Kashmir, in the backdrop of abrogation of Article 370. Already the case is going on in Supreme Court for this as well, that why was there internet disconnection when there was Article 370 that was abrogated? Why were the people's voice suppressed? So the thing is that Article 21 gives the right to life and liberty, and right to internet is included in the fundamental rights by the Supreme Court. All right, so therefore, this under Article 21. Okay, so therefore, the Supreme Court has said that you must have a kind of a balance between the two. All right, it should not infringe upon the rights of the general public if you kind of start banning or restricting their rights in the name of national security. So that's the thing. The next important news here is the green bond to have long tenure, says the center. So we know that the government of India is trying to come up with the green bond. What are these green bonds? So green bonds will be a long-term bond, and these long-term bonds will be it would be a long-term bond, and this bond will be used to support the green infrastructure project, green infra projects in India. The projects that will have a very high uh, very high the carbon uh, soaking capacity, and you can also say that will have the least carbon emission, the least carbon emission. If possible, it will work as a carbon sink as well, where it will be actually, instead of emitting out CO2, would be actually sucking in or soaking in the CO2 from the uh, atmosphere. All right, so we know that government's target already is to achieve net zero emission by 2070, and in this direction, the green bond is an initiative that has been taken by center. Now people can invest directly in this green bond. It will be a high yield bond where you will get a good lot of return, but then the money will be reserved for quite a long time. This is what government says, that it will be a long term bond, maybe for 20 years, 15 to 20 years. After 15 to 20 years only you will get money, so you can keep it invested in the green bond. Government will try to encourage this bond by making it tax free or something. We will see. This is again something a news in transition, so we will see that what will come. And but one thing is sure, that this is going to be a rupee dominated. bond. Okay, so it will not be in dollars, it will be rupee dominated. If there is any other country who wants to invest in green bond, that's also fine. Like US can also do, UK can also do, but it will be rupee dominated. Now, what is the advantage of any bond being rupee dominated? So the main advantage is that there we always see that there is a fluctuation in the dollar, right? The value of rupees in terms of dollar, there is always a fluctuation that we keep on seeing. So is to avoid this kind of a risk of, for example, if the rupees value starts falling down, then those foreign players who might have purchased this green bond can actually create a crumble in the Indian economy by uh, selling the green bond at a very, very high rate. And instead, they would start using it as a asset to crumble the Indian economy. And therefore, government made it rupee dominated. So if there is any person from USA who wants to purchase this bond, will have to buy in rupees, in terms of rupees. So if it is 100 rupees bond, there's a 20% interest rate on this, so the person will get 120 rupees after 10 years. Okay, that is simple. There would be, it will not be it will not be a dollar dominate dollar uh, uh, dominated a bond, because for example, if there's a, if the bond costs $100 and it promises to pay $120 back, and if suppose India does not have power to pay in dollars, right, it will have to pay in terms of rupees. Now that rupee has to be converted into dollars. Now if suppose this rupees has fallen down, then this dollar, instead of paying 100, the value of, it will pay $120, but then the value of rupees 120 would become 140. So that is why India wants it to be rupee dominated. And so that's the basic thing here, basic knowledge that's required from this particular article. Anyhow, this is a news in transition, so we will see that what comes forward in this. Fine. This is these were the important news on this page number. Let's now move to the next page. Ladies and gentlemen, the next news that's important is on page number 11, the foreign news, where we have this report coming from USA that Russia is 70% combat ready for invasion. The National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, says Russia could invade Ukraine within days or week. So this is what is going on currently. We know that there's ramping up of military near the Ukraine border, and something may happen, but we don't know. This is Russia is trying to pose that it's going to go for a conventional war, but definitely Russia is actually trying to flex its muscle and show them the power of the uh, I think we can call it as the new generation warfare, where it is simply kind of doing a psychological warfare, putting a pressure on USA that we are ready to invade. Russia is telling them, reminding them that although the post-Soviet era, I mean the Soviet era is over, but you should not forget that we were the Russia was the one powerful military at that time, and the Soviet time is although over, but Russia is still powerful. So to take any decision against Russia, it's not easy, and you must think twice before taking an action. So basically, Russia is trying to show that they are ready for any kind of conventional warfare, and it is a kind of a news in transition. We'll see what happens here, but I don't think that there would be a conventional war. It's a kind of a psychological warfare which Putin is playing, but there would be many cyber warfare. A lot of things would be going on, that's for sure. But chances of conventional war is less. That's according to me, but let's see what happens. So we should have a good focus on this, because this is an important international news. So anyone who would be going for SSB need to remember that this is a important international news. And whenever you tell in the SSB in the interview that, okay, we know that there's a border tension near Ukraine going on, so there would be a direct question that what are the countries that are around Ukraine, what is the exact problem, what was the about the Cold War. The question could be about the Cold War. The question would be about the NATO alliances. Okay, the Iron Curtain. So all these things, you should research about it before going to the SSB. All right. So these were some important news in the news articles in the newspaper today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll meet tomorrow with the uh, important news articles again. Till then, take good care of yourself. Have a nice day, all of you. Thank you.